Hello everyone, my name is Mai Trang. So today me and my group TRINH will present about a case study of organizational report of SABECO company. And in next one, we have our team member. And in next, we have the table of contents of the SABECO. And the first one is case introduction. The second one is word analysis. The third is economic, industry, and competitive analysis. The fourth is financial analysis. The fifth is non-financial analysis, and the last one is conclusion. In the next one, I will. The next is some information about SABECO company. SABECO company is, or you can call it Saigon Beer Alcohol Beverage Corporation, which founded in 1875 and which has 2008. This is on hold in 2016 and the headquarters of the SABECO in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. The next one is the overall sales report of SABECO in 2024. You can see that in 2024, SABECO achieved 31.8 trillion VND in revenues and 489 trillion in net profit. VND production around 3 billion liters of beer. Key brands include Saigon Glacier, Triple Tree Beer, and Saigon Special, which products sold domestically and exported to ASEAN and Europe, Japan, and South Korea. And in short, SABECO is a long-standing market-leading company with strong domestic international presence. And in the next, I will talk about the SWOT. The first SWOT is about the strength. First, the SABECO has strong financial results. In 2024, the company earned 31,872 billion VND in revenue, up 4.6%, and 495 billion VND in net profit, up 5.6%, proving its financial resilience. The SABECO's 4.0 digital transformation boosts production, supply chains, and manage efficiency. The SABECO also owns famous long-distance brands like Triple Tree Beer, Saigon Special, Saigon Glacier, and Saigon Chill, holding about 40% of Vietnam beer market with the nationwide distribution network and loyal customer. Lastly, the company actively engaged in social responsibility programs, strengthening its brand's image and promoting sustainable development. And the second one is weaknesses. However, SABECO still have some limitation. The company product portfolio is mainly focused on traditional beer, while today younger consumers tend to prefer healthier, low alcohol or craft beverage options. SABECO has been relatively slow in adapting to these changing trends, making it difficult to attract younger customers and compete with international brands. Furthermore, SABECO heavy dependence on alcoholic beverages for revenue increase. Businesses risk as health awareness rise and people reduce alcohol consumption. Demand for beer could gradually decline compared to competitors like Heineken, Budweiser, and SABECO. Product innovation and brand image remain wide conservative. The company is also affected by social issues associated with alcohol consumption, such as traffic accidents and public health problems. These issues can negatively impact the brand image and are such as too strict government regulation and advertising restriction. Lastly, the COVID-19 pandemic revealed SABECO vulnerability to sudden market disruption, as the company relies heavily on bar, restaurant, and public events for sale. In the third, we have the opportunity. In the opposite side, SABECO has many opportunities for growth. Vietnam rapidly growing population and rising personal income and important factor supporting the beer industry with average annual income increasing. Beer remains a popular drinks among Vietnamese consumption, providing SABECO with a strong domestic market. Additionally, SABECO recently expanded its market share by acquiring Saigon Bintang Beer Group. As SABECO raised its ownership from 16.4% to 59.6%. This deal increased the company production capacity by 25.4% to over 3 billion beer per year, solidifying its leadership position in the industry. In the fourth, we have the trade. Nevertheless, SABECO faces significant trade. The beer market is extremely competitive, where global brands like Heineken, Budweiser, and Carlsberg uh, investing heavily in marketing and new product development. SABECO must constantly innovate and maintain strong brand positioning to stay ahead. Another challenge comes from high alcohol tax and strict license produced in Vietnam. Excise tax have gradually increased over the years, putting pressure on profit margin, especially in the mid-range product segment. In addition, obtaining a production license is complex and time-consuming, making it difficult for new players to enter the market and for SABECO to expand capacity quickly. And in the next one, I will talk about the conclusion of SCORE analysis. The SABECO remains a market leader in Vietnam beer industry, market by strong financial research, effective business strategy, and well-known brand. It's SABECO 4.0 digital transformation, enhanced operation, efficiency, and cost management. However, the company face challenges such as a limited product range focused on traditional beer and growing social and regulatory pressure related to alcohol consumption. Despite these challenges, SABECO has strong growth potential thanks to Vietnam's young population, recent income, and opportunity from free trade agreement. By expanding its product portfolio, pursuing merge and acquisition, and increase for SABECO can maintain its market dominance and adapt to changing consumer trends and regulation. In this one, I will invite Yến Nhi to present.
Hello, my name is Nhi and I represent the battle of SABECO. It's been for political is SABECO and the shipping landscape of enemy peers. It is for economics that SABECO financial challenge and smooth economic fluctuations. S is for the socials is that how the cultural rights demand challenge in Vietnamese peer industry. T is technology that SABECO technological age innovation in production and quality control. E is environmental is that the SABECO strategies for responding to the environmental and climate impact. L is for legal, that's SABECO adaptation to the policy impact and shipping consumer habit. And the next slide, I will talk about the political factor. This holds a strong culture and social roles in Vietnam, with the country among the Asia top beer consumer. In 2024, the consumption reached 3.8 million kiloliters, ranging 43 to 46 liters beer adult annually. However, the industry is facing a new challenge that the Series 168 effective in early 2025, increasing penalties for wrong driving and leading to the reduced sales. SABECO's Vietnam's second largest beer producers reported a 19% drop in the first quarter revenue and a 22% decline in the profits, the lowest since 2021. Further pressure comes from the post-special consumption tax hike with option of either radio ride static at the 70% of all shops increased to 80% by 2026. SABECO and other favor the radio approach, but one the cost will be the pass on the consumer. The second is economic factor. In 2022, Vietnam GDP grew by just 2.9% due to the COVID-19, causing a 6% drop in the pre-industry revenue. Despite the recent financial challenges, Vietnam policies has kept the cultural stable. However, the fluctuating interest rate impact the consumer behavior. Higher rates lead to the reduced spending on the items like beer, while lower rates boost consumption. On the positive side, Vietnam focused on industrialization and infrastructure development, along with the favorable tax policies and expanded trade relations, ran a new opportunity for business like SABECO to the roads and access to international market. And the third factor is socials. The cultural factor strongly influence business in Vietnam, affecting value, consumer behavior, and brand perceptions. Rooted in Eastern traditions, Vietnamese social style emphasize family, social style, and nationwide. Comment like Vietnamese people prioritize Vietnamese foods has encouraged local consumption, benefiting domestic industry, including beer. However, the foreign products are often seen as a higher quality, pushing the local brands to improve the quality, design, and consumer trust. Beer plays a major role in urban social life, while traditional white wine remains the common in rural areas. In Vietnam's culture and status location in Southeast Asia also promote trade and influence consumer habit and often a new opportunity. And the next slide will talk the technological impact. In today's fast-moving market, technology is key business success. SABECO has adopted a fully automated production system to compete the major brands like Heineken and Tiger. To maintain its list, SABECO is fast R&D and strictly manage the production from raw materials to the final products, guided by any skill engineer and master trained approach. SABECO also focus on environmental protection and social responsibility, boosting both product and quality consumer trust. And the next is the environmental factor. To meet the stricter environment standard, SABECO must improve the waste management, adapt to rising costs, natural disasters, and climate risk, especially in the central region in Mekong Delta, has also the effect operations. And since 2010, SABECO has taken steps to address the issue by injecting our water treatment to the US filter technology and using biomass boil fuel by plants way to cut emissions. This measure helps SABECO stay sustainable in the changing climate. And finally, is the legal factor. Is a strong stock company planning to list the Saigon Stock Exchange. SABECO operates under the enterprise and security laws. These law frameworks are often updated and can significantly affect operations. A major trend was the Rule 100. Effective in 2020, the law reduced the beer consumption at the restaurant and SABECO's key sales channel. In response, the company's shift is focused on non- and low-alcohol beers, expanded often the trade sales via supermarkets and online platforms. These strategies help SABECO adapt the legal challenge and evolve the consumption habit. Next slide, I will talk about the conclusion of SABECO. SABECO operates with a dynamic and complex Vietnamese market, while deeply independent in the nation's social parity and benefit from a supportive economic environment and strong technological investment. The companies face significant challenge from the tightening government regulations and the tax environment risks also demand ongoing adaptation. SABECO's strategy in responding to these pressures, particularly in the proactive adjustment to the legal shift and its long-standing to sustainable practice, will be the crucial for maintain the market and leadership and ensure continued growth in the landscape. And the next mark is Mỹ Gia Nghi presents.
Hi everyone, my name is Nghi, and move on to the next part. We will talk about part of 5 force analysis. The first one is threat of new entrants. Although entering the beer industry in Vietnam requires significant capital and effort, especially for production facilities and distribution networks, the market remains attractive thanks to high local demand. However, new players will find it challenging to build strong brand recognition and compete with established names like SABECO, Heineken, and SABECO. The second is threat of substitute. Consumers today have many drink options besides beer, such as soft drinks, non-alcoholic beverage, or even wine and spirits. Health-conscious lifestyle and stricter traffic laws have also led people to cut back on alcohol. As a result, SABECO must adapt by introducing lighter or alcohol-free products to retain consumer interest. The fourth one is bargaining power of customer. Today's customers are more informed and demanding. Many young consumers prefer import brands or craft beers with unique flavors and modern packaging. Since switching brands is easy, SABECO has to constantly improve its products and find new ways to keep customers loyal. The fourth one is bargaining power of suppliers. SABECO relies on materials like malt, hops, and packaging, which are partly sourced from abroad. Any change in price or supply delays can affect production. Still, SABECO has enough scale and experience to negotiate with suppliers and manage risk effectively. And last one is competitive rivalry. Competition in Vietnam's beer market is intense. SABECO competes with both local and global players, especially in major cities. Advertising, pricing, product variety, and distribution channels are key battlegrounds. To stay ahead, SABECO needs to stay innovative and consistently meet changing consumers' preferences. In conclusion, the Vietnamese beer industry presents both significant opportunities and intense challenges for SABECO. While high market demand makes the sector attractive, the company must navigate threats from potential intense substitutes and shifting consumers' preferences. The bargaining power of both customers and suppliers add further pressures. However, SABECO established brand, large-scale operation, and deep market experience position it well to maintain competitiveness. By continuing to innovate, enhance its product offerings, and adapt to evolving market dynamics, SABECO can strengthen its leadership in the increasingly competitive beer market. And the next part is Duyen.
Hi, my name is Thuy and I will focus on SABECO financial performance. Despite facing external market challenges, SABECO managed to maintain financial stability throughout 2022 to 2024. Let's look at revenue and profit trends. In 2022, SABECO recorded 34,979 billion Vietnam dong in sales, which then dropped sharply to 30,461 billion Vietnam dong in 2023. However, in 2024, sales rebounded slightly to 31,872 billion Vietnam dong, suggesting signs of recovery. As for net profit, it declined from 5,228 billion Vietnam dong in 2022 to 4,116 billion Vietnam dong in 2023, then saw a modest recovery in 2024, reaching 4,331 billion Vietnam dong. So, although profit is improving, the overall profitability margin is narrowing, reflecting competitive pressure and rising costs. Looking at total assets, they slightly declined from 34,465 billion Vietnam dong in 2022 to 33,439 billion Vietnam dong in 2024. This drop is mostly due to a decrease in short-term assets, which went down by nearly 2,000 billion Vietnam dong. Interestingly, long-term assets increased significantly in 2024, suggesting the company has started investing more in fixed and strategic long-term resources. Now about debt. Total debt remained around 9,000 billion Vietnam dong, but more importantly, over 95% of this is short-term debt, showing a high reliance on short-term liabilities. Meanwhile, long-term debt dropped slightly, staying below 350 billion Vietnam dong, or about 1% of total assets, again emphasizing low financial risk. Next. Looking at profitability, there was a downward trend. Return on equity fell from 22.14% in 2022 to 17.35% in 2024. Return on assets dropped from 15.84% to 12.83%. Return on sales also declined, indicating rising cost pressure and tighter margin. SABECO stayed financially stable from 2022 to 2024. Liquidity was strong, with a high current ratio from 3.49 to 3.02. Debt to asset ratio also improved slightly from 28.65% to 26.91%. However, profitability declined, showing a need for better cost control and smart investment. Next, let's compare SABECO with the key competitors in Vietnam's beer market. We'll focus on market share and brand strategy, especially in 2023. In Vietnam, the beer industry is dominated by the Big Four: Heineken, SABECO, Carbus, and Habeco. Together, these four brands make up 93% of total beer sales. Heineken now leads with 43% market share. SABECO follows with a 34%. Carbus had 9% and Habeco holds 7%. Heineken has shown impressive growth in just 4 years. It went from 36% in 2019 to 43% in 2023. What's driving this? Two powerful brands, that's Heineken Lager and Tiger Beer. These drinks dominate the premium segment, especially in big cities and nightlife venues. Heineken clearly knows how to target modern urban drinkers. Now let's talk about SABECO. Once the market leader, SABECO's share dropped from 41% to 34%. While the decline happened, many drinkers say the brand feels old-fashioned, but SABECO still holds a strong position in the mid-range market. Classic products like Beer Saigon and Beer Triple G continue to sell well, especially because they are affordable and familiar. Next is Carlsberg. Carlsberg is loud, but is making quite progress, with brands like Hilda, Top of Ice, and 1664 Blanc. It appeals to a different crowd. Carbus is growing slowly, but is building a solid identity, especially in central Vietnam. Lastly, we have Habeco. Its market share is more, just 7%, but it's very strong in the north, especially beer Hanoi and fresh draft beer. For northern drinkers, Habeco is still a local favorite. To wrap up, Heineken is dominating with premium products. SABECO is stable but needs innovation to grow again. Carbus is slowly gaining ground, and Habeco is winning hearts in the north. If SABECO wants to regain the lead, it should think about refreshing its image, launching new products, and reconnecting with younger consumers. Next, I would like to share a short analysis of how Degree 100 affected SABECO, Vietnam's leading beer company, and how they respond. Since early 2020, this law strictly penalizes anyone who drinks alcohol and drives. Even cyclists can get fined. For example, car drivers can face up to 40 million Vietnam dong in fines and lose their license for 2 years. Motorbike riders face up to 18 million Vietnam dong and an 18-month sentence. As a result, Vietnamese consumer has reduced alcohol consumption. Instead, many people now prefer soft drinks, bottled water, and non-alcohol options. This shift brought new competition for SABECO from brands like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Although Degree 100 was welcome for public safety, it caused big financial losses for SABECO. In early 2020, SABECO stock price dropped by 46%, losing over 4 trillion Vietnam dong in market value. At one point, the stock fell to 126,000 Vietnam dong per share, making it one of the biggest losers in the market. The major stakeholder, a Thai billionaire who owns over 53% of SABECO, lost more than 1.3 trillion Vietnam dong personally. This was a tough time for the company, especially when COVID-19 hit at the same time, making things even worse. But SABECO quickly responded by launching a non-alcoholic beer called Segota in early 2020. This product contains zero alcohol, so consumers can enjoy it without breaking Degree 100. It was a smart move that matched the new trend, giving people a safe, refreshing alternative. Segota received positive feedback, especially among drivers and young customers who want to stay safe. SABECO also invests more in research and development, using advanced tech to create products that meet strict alcohol laws while still tasting like real beer. This shows that SABECO is not only reacting but also planning for a long-term sustainable growth. To conclude, Degree 100 and COVID-19 create serious challenges for SABECO, but the company responded quickly, launching Segota non-alcoholic beer to meet shifting demand. Their strategy shows flexibility, innovation, and a strong commitment to stay competitive in a changing market. And next is the part of non-financial analysis.
In the following part, we will move on to non-financial analysis, SABECO's ESG, CSR, and strategic impact. First one is ESG performance from underrated to industry leader. Since 2019, it has implemented over 50 water and energy-saving initiatives. Water usage per liter of beer has dropped from 7 liters to only 2.86 liters. SABECO aims to reduce this further to 1.5 liters by 2026. The company also plans to cut electricity usage by 43% and reduce CO2 emissions by 75,000 tons. Additionally, 50% of its energy will come from renewable sources by 2026. On packaging, SABECO used 100% recyclable materials and target full biodegradability by 2040. It also works with POR Vietnam to support national waste management under the EPR policy. SABECO's ESG strategy is based on 3 pillars: climate actions, community and employee empowerment, and stakeholder collaborations. Second, in terms of CSR initiatives, SABECO has shown strong social commitment. After major typhoons, more than 3.5 billion Vietnam dong was raised to support affected employees, half from the staff and half matched by the company. During COVID-19, programs like IEC-Case and 1 million stars delivered over 43.3 billion Vietnam dong in across 60 provinces. In total, SABECO has contributed 55.2 billion Vietnam dong to disaster relief and community support. Its sustainability model is built on 4 key values: consumption, conservation, country, and culture. It also donates 55.2 billion Vietnam dong to flood victims and emergency relief efforts. Its sustainability models follow 4 pillars: consumption, conservation, country, and culture. The last one is assessment of non-financial factors and strategy impacts. This effort brought real business results. In 2022, SABECO saw a 32% increase in revenue and 40% growth in profit. The total revenue is 44,979 billion Vietnam dong, and the profit is 5,500 billion Vietnam dong. It remains the market leader by volume. According to a journalist, SABECO was also recognized as an excellent employer by the Ministry of Labor and VCCI with nearly 3,000 hours of training delivered to staff in 2022. In conclusion, SABECO's ESG and CSR journey reflects a deep transformation, strengthening brand value, improving community well-being, and driving sustainable growth through strong governance under type-F, responsible environmental practice, and meaningful social investment. SABECO is not just a market leader, but a model for how business in Vietnam can balance profit, people, and planet. And the last part is conclusion for SABECO case analysis. SABECO continues to demonstrate strong financial fundamentals. The company remains profitable with low debt levels, healthy cash flow, and a consistent track record of dividend payouts. Even though growth has slowed slightly in 2023 to 2024, SABECO still holds a large market share and benefits from an extensive production scale nationwide. However, several strategic risks are emerging. There is a clear shift in the consumer behavior, especially among younger, health-conscious individuals who are drinking less. In addition, SABECO faces strong competition, both domestically and internationally, from players like Heineken and Carlsberg, who are quicker to innovate and adapt. One of SABECO's biggest challenges is its lower pace in launching chain-driven products that appeal to new consumer segments. As of 2035, SABECO's stock is trading at a high price-to-earning ratio, which suggests that market expectations are high. This profile makes the stock appealing to long-term investors who prioritize dividend and stability, but it offers limited upside for those seeking short-term gains or aggressive growth. In conclusion, SABECO remains a stable market leader with strong brand recognition in Vietnam's beer industry. It is best suited for medium to long-term investors who value consistency and resilience over rapid returns. And this is the end of our group TRINH presentation. Thank you everyone for paying attention.